Stream beginning. And, oh, looks like we're coming through. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who are just joining us on the stream here, tonight we're going to witness something that's actually, yeah, hello.
Hi.
We're gonna get, this right here is Mr. Mike Kimpton, my esteemed title card artist.
Yep.
And right behind us is Mr. Morgan Ledger.
Oh, trying to see. Oh, there I am.
Yes, who is
back. Yes, I'm just lost in the green screen at the moment.
He is helping monitor the
questions that people
Questions
might
and
have,
whatnot.
or comments or whatever.
Oh, we just got one from Nelia Jones. What title card are you drawing? That's the point. This is a guess and tell situation. We know what it is, but you have to guess it for yourself. It's like that game you played in high school, Pictionary, I think it is.
Yeah, we have a draft just over there, but you guys can't see that.
Yep, and said you get to watch right here on camera number 2, which I'm pointing at, mounted on top of the.
That was scarier than it needed to be.
Oh god, I don't want to lean in too close.
Okay.
That's coffee, man.
There's hot coffee there, and I burn my ear.
All right,
I'm looking at the actual one right now, and it's beautiful, but we can't say what it is because you have to find out.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's an upcoming new episode of From Pages of Pictures.
I was going to say they need to know what show it's for at least.
I think. Yeah.
No, it's for a Russian series called Vadya Pulsagedet, which translates to From Pages of Pictures.
And how long?
Hi, Dr. Nick!
Uh-oh, he's in the chat too?
Yeah, James works.
Okay.
Works.
Alright, and fire away. There's Kimpton.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, start your guessers.
And we'll be here to entertain you in the best way we can.
Yes.
There's a whole room of stuff here. We got the Apple computer, some things like that.
I go into my channel. Oh, there's the live stream. Yes, we have viewers.
I can't see how many though.
That's good to hear because we didn't want this to be a, Iron Giant thing.
There's a funny story that Brad Jones mentioned when he went to see the Iron Giant in theaters. He didn't know much about the movie other than the fact that on the marquee there was another title next to it. It was a film about Richard Nixon, and the name of the movie was Dick.
Oh.
So he went to the box office.
Using the wrong lead here. I've got to change.
So he went to the box office to order a ticket. He would say, "Can we see one for the Iron Giant blank?" I think you know that joke already. I'm not going to say it for YouTube reasons.
Yeah.
The Iron Giant. It's worse than the time when there was a Will Ferrell movie called Get Hard. There was a Christian movie named Little Boy.
Oh.
And on the side it said Get Hard, Little Boy. You see, that I can say because there's no...
I'd like one ticket to Get Hard, Little Boy.
Sounds like some sort of demented Krusty the Clown going to go see that.
I can't... This is how much I was not paying attention the first time around. The Iron Giant Dick.
Now, if it was that Disney movie...
Oh, no. The Iron Giant Dick.
Now, if it was a Disney movie, a certain Disney movie playing around that summer, if it was paired up against that one, it would say the Iron Giant Tarzan.
Oh. So many different ways we could do it. We could go with that, like the Iron... maybe Home on the Range Dick.
Big Daddy Dick. Hey, the Adam Sandler movie came out at the same time.
It's really hard to draw convincingly when I've got two guys standing right behind me talking about dicks.
Okay.
I'm
Iron
sorry.
Giant is Warner Brothers.
Yes, we know. It's a good movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty decent.
a cameo.
Oh, look who's
It's
coming.
a cameo.
Yes, here we have another friend of ours, the fellow who we're staying with. Can you guess by the look?
Recognize me yet?
Yeah, he's the
waiting.
bald one. Shut the door!
You see, there's a 10-second delay that goes on with these things, so... Yeah. Why we are in Florida, we will never tell.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, and they just got a good look at your creepy eye. No, let's not get too crude.
It's okay, we keep it nice and neatly once in a while.
We'll keep you a little bit entertained.
Are you sure these guys can see this? I think it's a bit blurry.
No, they can see it fine.
I can't even see
You
it.
can see some of the eyes.
Can you zoom that one in?
Well, this is just the pencil sketching, so once you get to the actual inking process, that's when it's going to be a lot more noticeable.
Krusty wants out!
In the meantime, we'll entertain you with a new show we like to call Morgan Gobo.
Hi, Morgan. Can you and I be friends? I know I'm not supposed to hang out with the people in outer space, but
I promise I won't leave the magic.
I want you all to behave, otherwise you're all grounded and you can get out.
Alright.
Oh.
Of course.
Oh, shucks. Alright, we'll try and make this as serious as possible.
At least.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't see it so far, I'm looking very excited, but why am I being excited in the drawing?
Anyone else saying anything or asking anything?
Not quite just yet.
Probably because they're all bored and they've gone home to get pissed. Then I might come back later when
they're at home. Probably want to get pissed, but I want to mug away in case there's anything special happening.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can't really check.
Did you have a shirt tucked in?
Should I get a cat? Cats increase views.
Did you have a shirt tucked in for this, or was it open?
I was tucked in.
Maybe get a cat to increase views?
Yeah.
No!
Make this guy sneeze.
Yeah.
Yes. So nobody
wearing a
guessed
belt?
who you were. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Were you wearing a belt?
This is the Sonic Guru Den.
Yep.
Raja!
What?
Were you wearing a belt?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I need to put on my shirt for reference, also. But actually, no. You're not going to draw what's on the shirt. Just this is the same type of shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't need anything.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan, why'd you leave?
Because he knows that he's not part of this project. Now shut the door.
Okay.
Have you checked out this show called The Loud House? I've heard of it, but there's only so much times in a day you can watch certain programs on television. Oh, you can actually see some of the stuff in the camera. Look.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 10-second delay, but you can actually start to see it come together well done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's...
Try to guess who that character is with the ears and everything. That might be a giveaway.
I think it's one of the characters from Wolf Children.
Oh. This is where you belong. Actually, or maybe it's from Wolf's Rain. You never know.
That's wrong.
We could be doing anime.
You never know. It was a manga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't want to break his concentration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man.
I'm Dr. Pepper, double the fun. So,
would you like to be a pepper too?
would you like to be? I remember showing that movie to the family,
Fix those hands.
and they were.
It's alright.
My mom's reaction was kind of funny. She's like, "I don't remember this movie, but I remember that guy." Like, yeah, Mom, we used to have this movie on tape. Yeah, when we were kids.
It says we got 6 or 7 watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all?
It's a start. That's how these things usually do.
It's only early timing. I mean, it could get bigger and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, right?
Okay.
This process takes a long time.
I'm gonna share on Facebook and tweet.
Oh, here we go. This is awesome. Most of the Mr. Co contributors together. Stefan presents a SAS Productions. What SAS stands for?
A sassy person?
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
How you doing, kiddies? We are doing very fine, but unfortunately, as you can see, we're all grown-ups here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, Nero. How's it going over there in Arizona?
Arizona, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully the storms have weathered away. We've had some pretty bad storms over here in Florida, actually, during this trip.
Especially last night, we were watching Svengoolie, and there was a lot of thundering and lightning coming down It's perfect timing.
Yeah, of course. Anytime you're watching anything with Bela Lugosi in it, having thunder in the background is kind of perfect.
Do you think these hands are okay, or do you think I've screwed up?
Oh, Mike, here's a comment for you. I know how that feels as an artist. I had to do a sketch of what I had to draw numerous times until I get it just as I imagined.
Like, getting the hands in the right positions can be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially when you know people are watching.
Maybe we shouldn't look.
No, that's not going to work, pals.
Okay, and tweeting out, live streaming now. Okay. So of course consider this a Q&A session as usual.
Yeah. Do you know about the Raving Rabbids?
Don't watch the show actually. But I
know about those things that almost killed Rayman years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. And there.
Can you guys lock that door?
It's a cameo!
It's another cameo from
10 minutes ago.
Go away!
Not doing anything.
Yes, you are. You're standing.
I'm still standing.
Looking like a true survivor. Feeling like a little kid.
I need.
I'm still standing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's still snapping. No.
Okay. Sorry.
I can't help it. What? Oh, they're watching that show.
Yeah.
They're watching that show?
Little you know what.
Oh.
She watches it.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the one that has a movie coming out this year that I might watch with my nieces if they happen to be visiting around the time that it's in theaters.
Kind of disappointed that the actual initial poster actually had the celebrity voices rather than the main 6 voices on the poster.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, go fuck yourself. We only care about the rest of the main characters.
Language.
Is there a message on the door that says, "Wanted interrupting cameos acquire within"?
And considering my fan base and how often I actually do crossovers with the 3 of you, are not that much of a cameo.
Okay, and a little update from Nero. Hellacious. Storms have balanced out now. I got to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed while trying to edit a video before I go to surgery.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, hope I would... Wow, man.
As long as it's not done by Dr. Clouseau.
I like to say is when they actually get it done, get in the zone.
How's this?
Because I've been editing.
Looks good so far.
What I'm doing editing, or even just artwork.
You wearing jeans?
I get into a zone and I just
pants.
don't stop until I actually starve to death.
Mm-hmm.
I have starved
They look like
during
jeans,
editing.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of.
That's probably the best way to put it. Well, Nero, if you're listening to us right now, we wish you the best, man. Because I'm one of those lucky few that has never had to have their wisdom teeth removed. But...
I've had one.
But...
It broke. It's still down there somewhere.
I got 2.
I still have mine all together. They're still growing in.
I had to go to hospital to get the bottom of mine removed, but I chickened out and I didn't go, so what's left is still under there somewhere. I can't eat on that side.
According to Nero, he's doing a Pennywise video and he's looking forward to completing it.
Waha!
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, get into the zone.
Okay, okay, gang, we got 1 character done. If you can see this well, hopefully you have a good guess who this is and what the film we're doing, or what we are reviewing.
Well, I don't know if this 1 character will be enough to give everything. But, wow, these 2 are like brothers. They got their wisdom teeth removed around the same time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Tim Curry is a treasure.
Indeed. Yes, the man who played Nigel Thornberry.
Smashing.
And we all know he's done better roles, too.
The funniest line he had, which was in the worst movie, was Rugrats Go Wild. It's where he has amnesia, thinks he's a little kid. And there's a scene where they're trapped in this cave and Tommy has this big hero speech. You remember what Nigel Thornberry always says? And then for no reason, you hear Nigel Thornberry say, you might want to pause for a second, this is too funny. Tommy says, remember what Nigel Thornberry always says? And then it cuts over to Nigel, who's amnesia and as a kid, and he yells, the Martians are coming!
Okay. Remember that the Martians are coming.
The only note of that film was that Bruce Willis was Spike. Yeah. That's how I know.
Since it seems that Pennywise has now taken over the chat,
where hasn't it? Yeah.
Might as well show this off.
Alright, and I swear to you, this has nothing to do...
Are you wearing your shorts for this, Mr. Sullivan?
I am wearing my plaid short.
Yep.
My khaki shorts.
It's cargo shorts.
Were you wearing them for this?
Yes, I've been wearing them this whole trip.
Dirty bastard, go get them washed.
I would like to say this has nothing to do with the title card that Mike is making. I had to read this on the flight down so I can see it, so I can see the movie in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an interesting read so far. About 700 pages into a 1,100 book. It's actually, I think it's a little better than the miniseries so far, despite it being details and encyclopedia, which is the only drawback.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some fun stuff in there that I want to see that I hope sees in the film.
Yeah, a lot of the moments in there. He's been keeping me up to date because I have not read it.
Yeah, let me put it this way: when you're doing a TV miniseries, you can't have a scene where a leper hobo is offering a kid to have a blowjob.
Oh,
I am not even kidding. Come on, Eddie. Come here anytime. Bring your friends. Instead, it's a showerhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know they're gonna focus on the kids in the first film, and again, I'm curious to see how both are gonna come out.
But I will also. I'm also going to say that according to what we've seen so far, some of the more epic lines that made the miniseries memorable, like the Prince Albert in a can routine.
Yeah.
Those are in the book.
Yeah,
that's in the book.
Yeah, that's in the book.
Better be in the movie.
The balloon coming out of the sink, that's in the book. I think what else is in the book. The C Majority, that's definitely in there. The Winking album, that's in the book.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely in the book. And then the Outfall album, Bleeding Blood. Rock Fight is less violent than in the book. I could go on a discussion all day, but we're talking about this title card here that Mike is piecing together.
What's your favorite Stephen King adaptation? Well,
Christine.
I was about asking people what their favourite title cards from Pages of Pictures have been. Nobody's ever mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of time and effort that goes into them, I would have thought that somebody would have said something about some of them.
Yeah, so would I.
I should,
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Just a question for all of you out there who've seen Pages of Pictures. What's your favorite title card so far?
Yes, indeed.
I know there's a 10-second delay, but we'd actually be curious to know so far.
I'm going to type it into the chat here. What's you guys' favorite title?
Remember, man, Shakespeare had his days.
Or
seriously, those audiences were really rowdy when they were doing plays.
So
I think at one point they threw like a ram on the stage at one point.
Killing Joke.
It's gonna kill me off if they say Jungle Book, because that wasn't me, that's him.
Yeah, I did Jungle Book, but even then that was a April Fool's switcheroo.
Yeah, so that doesn't count.
Sorry, James Works, we're not doing From Pages to Pictures on it. Not at least anytime soon.
Though I'm curious to do one as an April Fool's joke, because part 1 would be out. We have 2 so far. One for the Killing Joke, one for James and the Giant Peach, and
I didn't do either of them.
We got one that actually liked the Chris Van Allsburg title cards.
Chris Van Allsburg.
Oh, is that the... Oh, yeah, Jumanji...
Jumanji,
Zathura,
Polar Express, and Zathura.
Polar Express.
I just remembered I did a Pages of Pictures once, didn't I, for the April Fools?
I
did Scott Pilgrim.
You did Scott Pilgrim, and you've also contributed the logo for.
I'm thinking of actually touching that up a bit.
Oh, War of the Worlds!
Yeah,
War of the Worlds!
Yeah, War of the Worlds.
One of the most badass title cards.
That's a good one.
Because
if you go to his DeviantArt account, VG Retro, he actually has a parody image because there's a famous image for the actual album.
Yeah, the Jeff Wayne musical album.
He made a parody image.
Someone also mentioned Chronicles of Narnia,
which was not done by him. I believe that was Matt all the way.
Yeah. That Canadian could have come down here, but
this
is business.
I would like to see an FPTP episode on the Pirates Band of Misfits, a criminally underrated film in my opinion.
It's Pirates and an Adventure with Scientists. I don't care what they renamed it here.
I got the UK version. It's actually pretty good. I've not seen the American edit, so.
Is it the so this is the one that keeps in the line about does the UK cut keep in the line about a leper boat?
No,
that's gone.
That out.
That's gone.
Yeah, they cut that out. But the biggest difference I do know is that one of the pirates in the American version is dubbed by Al Roker.
The albino one is a different voice actor in the UK version.
Even the one that likes Sunshine and Rainbows?
I think he's the same.
Okay, so...
But Brian Blessed they kept him. Thank God for that.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, the War of the Worlds title card was actually one of my favorites also to work with. Not just because of the amount of people that were involved in that one and the effort that it took, but it was trying to go up. It was us as a group trying to go up, over, and beyond in terms of what had previously been done in terms of title cards.
Yeah.
I mean,
keep going.
When we started doing this show, Mike was actually, it was right after the, what are we drawing? Well, we're drawing, Thomas, if you're just joining us right now, we are drawing the From Pages to Pictures title card for the next, episode, but if you guys don't know what the subject is going to be, you get to guess based on what it is coming into the stream there, what you can see. So, like I was saying, the War of the Worlds title card. When Mike came to me and first said, if you want anybody to do title cards for this episode for your show,
yeah,
I got him. I got you in here. I got you in doing this for. Oh, you're looking at me for.
Yeah.
You got me in this for. I got you in to do the body versus Stand By Me episode for the first time.
That was the first one I remember doing.
That was a good one.
And that
I found the original for that, I think.
It was fun. I just remember getting that back and you tossed me in there as the bully character, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I hadn't had Matt on board for coloring yet, which I've always been jealous of. I always think, Mike, you're the best at line work, and Matt has really always been good at coloring and shading and everything like that, design work. So that's why.
No, it's your teeth that fucked up.
It tends to happen. So when we first did title cards for the series. I was hesitant at first because every other show out there was starting to do title cards at that point, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So that's where I got the idea to have it sort of move just a little bit and give it the effect of depth. And from there on, it just sort of turned into a case where every title card that we did together had to have some sort of motion, like it was a living picture, to give the impression that you are much more engaged in this.
Like more of an actual TV series than just like, hey, look at this one.
Yeah, we just put this together in a week. How do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I did mine in a day. I was a little kind of proud of that, but it came out like on a episode.
But you had that nice little glaring flashing effect, which
So Bill, it's like I didn't realize how much time passed on the episode. Time passed like shit. Because I was still within a weird range.
And Anton Yelchin was in the US version of Pirates.
So I wrote it all the night before, then filmed and edited during the day, and got it about noon on April Fools.
Okay, here's a question from Thomas. Which version of War of the Worlds do you like more?
For me, it's difficult because I'm mostly familiar with the 1978 musical radio adaptation. Well, it's not radio, but basically a concept album which is like one full-length story based on the book, which has narration by Richard Burton.
The actual film.
It's about an hour. Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
Let's try to film.
But it's difficult to say film adaptation because there's supposedly another BBC TV drama coming out next year. But
I'd be curious to see how that
I guess when it comes to films, because there's really only two films that are mainstream. There's the 1953 one and the 2005 one. And if we're going to go by that, I'm going to have to say it's the 1953 film.
Yeah.
Because they changed the setting, but they also stuck to the true nature of the book, where the machines come down from the sky rather than having been built underground millions of years ago so that they could invade later, which is ridiculous because if they wanted to put these things underground to invade, they might as well have just invaded back then when we would have been fighting with sticks and stones. We would have been like flies to a flamethrower, you know, but
yeah, I mean...
Instead...
David Kopp wrote that one, so you can blame him.
Spielberg was the one who came up with the idea of them being planted back there.
At the same time, he was the one who suggested the joke about Indiana Jones hiding in the fridge. Everyone used to blame Spielberg for that joke, but it actually turned out it really was him who came up with that joke.
And so, of course, here we are, we have our second character here.
Yeah, you can probably guess if...
Can any... This is your last chance, folks. Got one more character to put in.
Take a
really good guess. Might want to...
starting to monitor... Question for all of you: what is your favorite pictures ever shown?
That's a difficult one for me. I've only really watched them maybe once or twice because it's just.
I'm kind of torn between the Bambi episode because what you brought up about between Bambi's mum dying and Littlefoot's mother dying was pretty good.
That was definitely a tough one. I remember reading this.
And then there's the Who Framed Roger Rabbit because the Bob Hoskins tribute.
That was my favourite card, honestly, because I never thought in my lifetime I'd be able to draw Roger Rabbit. But not only did I draw him, but I also drew the taxi. What's his name again?
Benny.
Benny.
Yeah, those are my two favourites.
Sketchbud says, "Well, at least we know it's going to be another crossover episode." Ding 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 ding, and the man gets a cigar.
But can you guess the movie?
At least it's actually a crossover in the same room rather than just, hey, you busy? No, crossover. Okay.
I
That's
guess
usually how it's done.
Yeah.
So I guess my response for personal favorite for Vintage Pictures episode, it's really hard to say at this point because every time I do a crossover with this guy over here, we always seem to have the advantage of one-upping every single episode. When we first started Cloudy. He was the one that was... You were the one who was behind making me angry. Because you're like, oh, anger is his big thing, and then when that passed over, we went to the Grinch one. And that's when I realized, now we gotta do, another one-up from the Grinch here. So that's when, joking-wise and everything, and that whole ending where the whole world's on the head of almost Bobcat. That was a tough shoot, but it was a lucky shot. It was the first Winter Storm, Massachusetts. I remember running straight to the park in almost Bobcat gear, camera stand, there was like police running around here and there patrolling the streets, so I was really lucky to get that shot.
I guess the nature though is like, what can I do to make this next episode better than the last one?
Yeah, though, if you want to know what episode I personally like outside of the crossovers with Dumb and James, it's a really hard pick to be honest. But I will say I remember you were doing the Bambi episode. And you sent me the script, and I was a little uneased because I wasn't too fond of Bambi because there's a lot of serious subjects, and I thought, well, how can you review that one? That's gonna be tough to do. And I remember reading it, and after reading it, I just thought to myself, in a case, I'm tempted to say this could be a good episode, but I just want to see him perform it into Your Ghost in There, and in the long run, it's a good episode. I just didn't know whether it was how to admit it really.
Okay, Thomas Mill is onto us, but
Thomas Mill, he's starting to get onto us.
But yeah, remember it.
He mentioned the author's name. We're not going to say which author, but I think he's starting something.
So yeah, we got a case of I remember doing the Bambi episode, and
You're way off, Cameron.
Mhm.
You're way off, Cameron. I like...
What are they saying? What are they guessing?
Here's what we got so far.
Cameron Biggs has guessed Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Which, by the way, the adaptation with George Clooney, love it.
Oh.
I like how they filmed most of this voice recordings outside so that it added more to the feel. Like, I've seen footage of Clooney like in his motion capture gear, like reading the lines.
If the Criterion was season 0, I'd send it to you in a heartbeat because they have a lot of great stuff. They even have like some stuff with Roald Dahl next to
the
it
guys
too,
that
like
did
actual
the cheap
interviews.
Disney
So you get to see the
knockoffs.
house and everything.
Lion and the King, Dalmatians 3.
I've never saw anything.
Dingo Pictures, yeah.
I've never seen anything by them, so I'm probably the lucky one.
I've
I'm
actually sat down and watched the whole of Dalmatians 3 at one point.
Oh, why would you do that?
PS2 game.
Because I'm a masochist, remember?
Oh, here we come with the with the third caricature on board here. This might be a dead giveaway. But, yeah, well, that's a good guess, Cameron. Yes, he does look like a fox, don't you? You can kind of see you can kind of see the ears right here. And
Oh, I'm molting! Ah! Okay, this we gotta tell. We were filming a scene yesterday, and there was a bit where I barged in between you two and my ears fell off. And Mike said, "What the frick happened there?" And then you grabbed yours and said, "He's molting! Ah!"
It was a hilarious outtake.
Ooh.
Okay, you're
all the outtakes we've had with the crossover right now is hilarious.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess you're a third of the way.
We were not going to announce it.
You are a third of the way.
We're not going to announce it.
You're a third of the way there, James.
Keep guessing, man.
So yeah, I remember. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing the Giant Peach episode because I was.
That's another good one.
Every time, here's a little secret. If I'm doing an episode, usually Morgan is somewhere behind the scenes. He's like a
look at the end credits. There's some clues in there.
Yeah, there's he's like a script doctor sometimes. With the Lorax episode, you were the one who came up with the Logix character.
Yeah, then I'm the super mother bug.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite contribution was War of the Worlds, because I saved your ass with the King and Kodos reference. Because when you're doing the voices, like, oh, the dinosaurs have won, maybe. I was like, no, that's not what Kodos sounds like. Oh, the dinosaurs have won. Your king was fine, it was just Kodos was a...
It is a question I want answered. Where did the kind of young kid version of you come from? I can't remember the character's name, but...
Maury,
that's it.
Oh, should we tell them the full story of the short and sweet version?
I'm gonna tell them the full 9 here. It's a long story.
This almost became a controversial character.
Yes, almost. It did anyway.
Keep the really juicy bits out. Just give the synopsis.
But I will say this: when I was working in the school system, I worked with a lot of kids who had different conditions. You know, like high functioning autism or ADHD or any combination of those. I even worked with a guy in a wheelchair one-on-one for several months, and and I started picking up habits from them. When you'd be surprised, people think it's mean when you do impressions of people who have
difficulties.
Yeah.
Difficulties, but actually with these kids, every time I did it, they loved it. You know, there's this one guy who would literally come up. The first time I met the voice of the Maury character, where that came from, I actually went into one of the bathrooms a little too early one time. I forgot to knock on the door, and I just remember twisting the knob, and all of a sudden the voice on the other end goes, "Wow!" And I slammed the door shut, and a minute later he comes out and he's like, You scared me! You scared me!"
And that's where the character came from.
"That guy scared me!" And so I started putting on that voice for the rest of the day, and that's part of the character right there. Was a guy who was I won't say his name right here, but I will say he was high functioning autism.
Yeah, we won't say his name, John.
John Jacob Jingleheimer, whatchamacallit,
Aaron A. Aronson.
Thank you.
Hello, Tame.
So yeah, you were saying because I remember you shot the first scene with them.
Mm-hmm. And then I showed it to you.
Yeah.
And in the scene, I go on a monologue where I do mention my job as a paraeducator, and so that would imply that the Mari character was somebody who was autistic. Didn't go over well.
I remember seeing the scene, and I was like, this kind of looks interesting, but what annoyed me of the character, I think, was some of the attributes, and I don't want to say it was the voice. There was like a small fraction, but having a cousin who was autistic, I didn't know whether to take it as offensive or something passable, because, you know, there were films like, there's something about Mary that did it before, but at least it was, you know, over-exaggerated as opposed to being straightforward. And then we had to actually get your dad in to debate about this, because I need a second opinion. And it was the first time actually meeting him. He's a really nice guy. Mm-hmm. And so we went back and forth, and we sort of felt that maybe it would be a little better to scale some of that back. And I didn't like Maury too much for the hyperactivity, but I think I've come to appreciate the character a little bit.
Well, we reshot the character, and we reshot that scene, and we just said that the character was just a 7-year-old who was unusually tall. So that's where Mari came from. That's the full 9. And yet after the episode was released, I still get a few complaints from here and there, based on how I do the character from another source who I do not need to name right now, who still complains that I act too autistic as the character, and that's therefore offensive. I just look at it as
are they offended, or are they being offended for someone else? If you're offended for someone else, it's not really much of a complaint.
They're being offended for themselves.
We won't say his name, but it's somebody we used to work for, and it's not Stefan.
Oh God, I know who that is.
Yeah, he knows. We're not going to say who.
Little Mr. Controversy.
But
oh, there's a question here. Aside from James and Giant Peach, what other Roald Dahl books do you like?
There's one that I used to read, and it doesn't get brought up a lot, and it was like the Grandma's Medicine, or the best.
George's Marvelous Medicine.
Love that one.
That never gets brought up. I used to read it all the time. Never brought up.
One.
Rick Mail did that on Jack and Nori, and he was supposed to be given.
I'm trying to find.
He was supposed to be given a teleprompter so that he could remember all of his lines, and he said, "Get rid of the teleprompter. I'm going to memorize the entire book," and he did. He did the entire book live.
Yeah, I love that.
It's kind of amazing.
My favorite one. Ooh, boy, there's a lot. I'd have to say it's between either Matilda, because to be honest, some of the best Roald Dahl books I read I used as book reports, and the ones I used as book reports were the BFG, the Twits, Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was my first one in 3rd grade. Actually, I remember making a diorama of the scene where his tail gets shot off. It was like nothing with a shoebox and paper felt. It's hard to say, really, but in terms of favorite adaptation, there's just so many of them. It's really hard to say, but
I'll tell you one that I read not too long ago that I did enjoy, and you were a witness to that one when I read The Witches.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which I had only seen the film. I still consider it. It's still one of the best frightening kids horror movies you put together.
I mean, witches trying to kill off kids.
I've seen that film.
I love that. And Roald Dahl was not behind it 100%, but he did like the casting of Angelica Houston.
I think that Rowan Atkinson did not need to be there, though. I love Rowan Atkinson, but he didn't. I don't remember him really doing anything to give it an impact of having him there.
You don't remember him cutting Angelica Houston in half with a butcher knife?
I love that. I love that. When I first saw it as a kid, I was like, wow, Mr. Bean just saved the universe. Really think about it. Really think think about it.
I assure you, it was an absolute accident.
I keep
imagining a break going, it was just an accident. Oh, thank you.
Mr. Sullivan, Mr. Ledger.
As the opening adaptation of George's Marvelous Mess.
Last chance, people. Here it is.
Some have made some guesses in here.
Yeah.
Once we're going to let the image... If the top hat doesn't clue the rest of you in...
no, it's an adaptation of Danny, the marvelous champion of the world.
Mm-hmm. Just give the stream a minute or so to adjust, and maybe people... Yeah, there has been one person in the stream who has correctly said what it is.
Congratulations! Now you got to put his name in the credits.
Yes, made by this man.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a weird delay on here. It's like.
Well, we better sort it out soon because I'm about to get the ink out.
Okay. Well, you have permission to get the ink out. One.
Oh no, it's working fine on mine. So.
Oh, you got.
Yeah, there's no lag, so...
I'm getting some lag on mine. Maybe that's... Yeah, okay. Technical difficulties.
Please stand by.
So...
The animator has fallen asleep.
So, what I have to say about The Witches as a book, it's not as frightening as the film.
No.
But I will... I'm going to give the film adaptation this much. They push the envelope, and there's a lot of extended sequences in there for the sake of
I do like the design of the Grand High Witch, as most of the book looks like a gloopy melting face.
Yes, she looks like she just opened up the.
For you.
She just opened up the Lost Ark of the Covenant. Remove your faces.
I'm gonna get revenge against the ones who can defeat me. Jones!
That'd be so great if it was Belloc in disguise.
You should see what Warner Bros. Did the She-Goth in the new...
Did you know that the guy who played Belloc is in Hot Fuzz?
Oh,
no, I didn't.
Oh, I didn't.
He's the Reverend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck off, Grasshopper.
That
guy.
You know that Ogre's in the movie? She's the receptionist.
Huh. So...
Fascist hag!
Yeah,
that girl.
So for the film, they did add in a chase sequence right after Luke is discovered in the Grand High Witch's meeting, which I thought was a good call on behalf of the filmmakers, because in the book he just gets captured and turned into a mouse, which I think is
snap my ruler.
You gotta read this. Mike. Look,
I wish I could draw. I envy your power, Mike.
Oh, thank you very much.
You can't have it.
See, you're recognized.
You can't have his power.
This is the Bic Atom, which is what I'm going to be inking with. According to a artist that I was chatting with a few months ago, this model of pen was used by Hergé in the later years of his life when he was doing the Adventures of Tintin.
The Hergé.
The Georges Remy.
No, not a double review. Sorry.
It's not that. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Mr. Fox.
No, those two don't go together.
No.
A Fantastic Mr. Fox is more of a countryside kind of story, whereas Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a fairy tale. The difference between the two is that one has sort of a folk tale. One has a folk song feeling to it, like a Paul Williams song. The other one is more like a fairy tale you say to your kids.
Yeah. So the other good thing I have to say about the Witch's film that was not in the book, the entire climax with the dining room scene was added in. Everyone getting turned and everything, and which is a properly disturbing climax for such a concept. But
and then the build of that scene where she turns into a mouse, that was good.
You won't pay for this.
The face comes off.
I love that. I loved that as a kid.
So.
Well, now I got lag.
So now, that whole climax was added in. In the book, they just serve them. They just serve them the mouse the mouse soup, and they expect
Is that door still open?
No.
No.
And they
It sounds like they're popping bubble wrap outside.
And they expect to just sort of let the chips fall where they will, which is anticlimactic because you don't really know. They leave the book not really knowing if they got the right people. They could have just turned everyone into a mouse.
Oh yeah.
And said we don't give a rip. So.
The other thing I want to point out too is that Jim Henson did the special effects for that one.
Oh yes, your favorite.
Yeah, he would have done directing, but he was busy working.
Why are they doing that outside? It's driving me mad.
Okay.
So as I was saying, Jim Henson did the special effects for that one. And if I remember the story correctly, he would have done directing, but there was too many projects on his plate. So when Dahl saw the film at a preview screening, he was like really furious. And I remember him sending a message to Henson, you know, why didn't you have any control on this? You know, when I go in press tours, I'm gonna badmouth this whole thing and so forth, and no one will see it. And Jim politely said in his best regards, yeah, I wish I could turn back, in you know, his own words, yeah, I wish I could turn back time and fix all these things. I think it's a fine film, but it's a good book. I apologize for what happened. It's the least I could do. You're a great, you know, writer. And I do sympathize with your choices. I wish I could direct this thing, and the film is fine as it is, but, you know, there's nothing I can do, and even Dahl sort of agreed afterwards, yeah, you're kind of right, Jim, and he kind of just withdrawed from trying to pull the film, which was strange because a little afterwards, Dahl passed away around that time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this being The Witches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the biography by Brian J. Jones. It's worth checking out.
Which, in order to do the extra mile for racers for this project, this guy read the whole book. So I will say this: James Works. You got two of the. You got the main two. Title guesses correct. So that's all I'm really gonna say for now.
Yeah.
And let's see who else can guess it.
Wouldn't it be great if instead one of the characters from another Dahl book, like one of the farmers? Like, I know we're not doing Fantastic Mr. Fox, but it'd be great if we were egging him on to a different thing and it's just one of the evil farmers. Yes, it's Bean in a nice tux.
Maybe he could be a good role.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more keen on Wes Anderson than I am.
The two big ones that I hold to heart so much are The Grand Budapest Hotel and Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think those are the quintessential Anderson. Moonrise Kingdom is not a bad watch too. There's a couple of slow spots, but just for the awkwardness of these two teens in a coming-of-age story just running away, that's a good one. Life Aquatic I didn't like first time around, but I did watch it again, and a little bit it was justified more, so that's a good one too, but you might need a second watch to understand some things. So you have this guy going after a shark because it killed its brother. I think I wanted to like it because of the special effects Henry Selick did, because of the underwater creatures while stop motion.
Do you want me to ink in the pattern on his shirt, or do you think Matt could do the effects on that?
Matt's probably going to have to do the effects.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so just leave that there then.
That'd be a little too much work there. But no, when I saw it the second time around, I saw it as a personal affair of this guy who's, you know, lost his way with the stuff he's did, and then finally when he comes up with the shark, he realizes, you know what, this is a thing of beauty, it should exist as it is. And I think the one line that gets me every damn time, is when he's looking at the thing and goes, I wonder if it remembers me. That's when he finally realizes who he really is. He's not this crazy guy that's in it for fame, he's just there to share his experiences.
Yeah. And to kill a shark for scientific purposes.
Well, he ran out of dynamite, so he can't kill a shark.
Yeah,
I won't hold it against you. Wes Anderson isn't acquired taste. It took me time to realize that.
And I did like the Grand Budapest. That's one where they kept switching aspect ratios.
Yeah, I thought that was a little clever.
Mm-hmm. It kind of reminded me of an old heist movie, even though the ending was sort of out of nowhere.
What is it? The Sting.
The Sting.
Love the Sting.
But there's just something about his directing style which I'm not typically keen on, and I can respect him as a guy who's really launched up from being an independent director to someone who's able to work with all these different actors.
Yeah, I heard he's doing a stop-motion animated film with dogs.
Mm-hmm. I love dogs.
That's what it is. I love dogs.
No, that's not I love dogs. It's Isle of Dogs. But that might be a play on words. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course, the book. How can I forget? Yes, James Works. The man gets a cigar officially.
I have my phone's low on battery, so I have to take a look here.
Of course, the book.
See what I mean about the way the ink flows from the pen?
Oh, you got a comment from Joshua Hartzlow. It says, triple great style of artwork.
We never get tired of that comment.
No, we don't. Let's see. Did you guys know that I am the Duke of Arts?
With a Z.
I've been into traditional art and drawing since I was 5 or 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you can take a tip from the masterwork here. Yes.
Take a cue from the Cubert.
Yes. Oh, look at that! It's coming out. It's the ink. That inking is coming out beautifully. I'm looking it up right here on the second camera. We got a 2-camera setup, and right here on this screen right here is the main monitor right down below. So if you see me doing like this, I'm just looking at the screen, getting a nice good look at Mike's handiwork through the secondary camera right up here. This feels like PBS or something, you know.
Yeah.
Or local.
You should do like a charity or something.
Was anybody wearing black? Because I need to know, because I'm going to have to get the brush out to shade that.
Not really, just more like dark shades of blue.
Yeah, definitely dark shades.
Yeah, so if you guys want to see me, what kind of art style I create, please follow the Duke of Arts, Hartzler, on Hartzler's projects on Facebook. I share most of my art with everyone online in North America and Vietnam.
Nice. I can definitely tell considering the profile picture, unless that's something else.
That's him.
Oh, cool.
Yep, the hippy-dippy looking guy with the glasses.
I wouldn't say hippy-dippy looking guy, I'd say the guy that looks like Weird Al going for a Ringo Starr impersonation.
Everything you know is wrong.
Trust me. Okay, trust me, Titan Dragon, I know what... Trust me, I already know some of the stuff in Stephen King's. You don't need to tell me.
Yeah, it's like childhood sexuality. We haven't touched on that before in other books.
I've not gone to that part in the book yet, and I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's one thing that was in the book, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which I always thought was a weird thing. And we read that in school, too.
We performed that as a play in my high school. I get to be Reckley.
Which one?
They mention him in the book as a passing, but he's a lobotomized patient that was like very rough and stuff. Think Father Jack, if he was really rough.
The wife. That guy?
No. He said fuck them all.
Oh yeah.
I did a play at school.
He had his hands nailed to the wall. He was. And when I found out he was lobotomized, when my character was lobotomized, I realized, oh, I'm not portraying this character right. So I figured, well, if you're missing a chunk of your brain, then you wouldn't sound right when you're talking. You have like a slow speech, wouldn't have control of yourself. So whenever I spoke, I was like Scooby-Doo in a sense, and that became the basis of the character.
Mm-hmm. The character that Jack Nicholson plays in the film, McKinley. It's been a while since I read it. McMurphy. Yes, he describes in the book his first sexual experience when he was 9 years old. and
Pumbaa, not in front of the kids.
Oh, sorry.
and did it with another 9-year-old. And he
So excited I nearly dropped a skateboard.
And
I find it funny we're talking about this when he's inking for something
completely G-rated.
Yes.
By nature.
There's your hint right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's and he talks about it in the book like it's the greatest thing. It was one of the greatest things that ever happened to him. It's like, oh, she taught me to love, bless her sweet ass. This is left out of the film for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
In the play version, I think he mentions. No, they cut all that out in the play actually.
Yeah, there were a lot of things. The book was nightmarish by comparison. You see the world from the chief's perspective.
They leave that in the play, but it's different. They have a monologuing. In our version, what we did was we shot footage of us running around the stage doing weird things, and so what we did was he played it backwards on this screen behind him. I'll show it to you at some point. Mm-hmm. They played footage screen playing back, so there's a spotlight on, and there's this weird music like it's inside his mind and everything. It was a really cool effect.
I did a play at school once of, I was in a play of Othello, the Shakespearean play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, which one do you play?
Yeah, that's where the controversial problem took place.
Uh-oh.
Has anyone here ever read Othello? Me. You've read Othello? Me. Right, well, here's...
We had to study in college.
Othello, he was a strange fellow.
Yeah, well, this is...
And he loved green jello.
Yes.
Covered in marshmallows.
Dudes, this is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a play of Othello, but they cast me as Othello. Now,
oh no!
Anyone who's read Othello knows exactly what the problem is with that.
I'm so sorry.
That was embarrassing.
Fill me in.
Okay, I'm just gonna say a three-word sentence, and that's gonna sort it all out for you.
Oh.
Never mind, you already know.
I already told James, so.
Yes.
Yeah. It's okay. It's either. It's either Laurence Olivier or Orson Welles did a thing of Othello, so...
Oh...
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, they're more talented than I am.
So how did those wax lips taste? Okay, you can hit me.
No. Remember my phrase, don't look back in anger.
Okay.
Look back in fucking rage!
If it's one thing researching John Belushi ever taught me, it's don't look back in anger. I'll never forget those words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Another thing people have been talking on Facebook about this. Toby Hooper's passing he's gotten some proper love as a
director.
Yeah.
I know there's a friend of mine that's like really into horror. You know what I'm probably talking about. MB. I feel bad for Toby Hooper. I really do.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know
there was
had that situation a while ago.
Yeah, there was a dispute he was in, and I felt terrible. It was at the same time I got Life Force on Blu-ray,
which was directed by him.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a solid canon film.
Yeah, it's one of the enjoyable canon films.
That's what you don't really. That's one thing you don't really hear often is a solid saying something was a solid canon film.
I think today there's another Toby Hooper movie that I liked. I'm trying to remember what it was. Poltergeist. Yes.
Yes, the one that feels like a Spielberg movie.
Yeah, there's controversy behind that one. They're still debating who really directed Poltergeist, but I'm not going to go into it.
Yeah, and also Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was kind of a classic in its own way.
The second one was like the Gremlins 2, the franchise.
It was more like the Evil Dead 2. Like they try to do everything a little bit better.
EXIT, exit.
Mm-hmm. So James Works would like to know. Speaking of ink, do anyone play Bendy and the Ink Machine? Never heard of it.
Do you know Bendy and the Ink Machine?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
I wish we could answer a little bit more there.
I'd research it, my phone's dying on battery, so...
Mm-hmm. And I gotta keep an eye on the chat here.
Yeah.
I don't even know where my phone is, and besides, can't use it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wheeled my laptop in, but the battery's not too good, so... Get sorry.
And in light of everything, though, why don't we talk a little bit about the trip that we
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the trip's been pretty good so far.
Going to the complicated processes, so I'm going to be pretty quiet, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Should we...
No, you guys can talk all the way, it's just I can't, that's all.
Okay, sorry about that.
No.
So, yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is my first time in Florida meeting with these guys. Everyone that we're staying with in this house is somebody that I've only met on Skype, and so walking off that plane and seeing you guys all standing there,
We didn't know what to expect. We didn't know how to react. And then we saw you, and the minute I walked up to it, I realized, oh my god, this guy's tall as Fred Gwynne. How am I gonna fight with that?
yeah,
I literally kept doing this all the time, and I was like, I can't believe he's taller than me. I mean, you warned us you were tall, but I didn't think you'd be that tall.
Yes, this is why I'm sort of like lurch in the corner over here. It's hard to fit me into the frame.
I mean, I've had tall people as friends before, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and
there was one guy in improv class who was like really, really funny. And despite his height, we didn't mind it. He was just really good at it. And he's mentioned before that he's a very shy guy, and he's had made fun of his height. But I was like, come on, man, you're really good at this stuff. You do a really good Canadian voice and everything.
And so, if you know anything about us, it's always been all of our interactions with each other. We've done strictly over Skype, over Facebook, sending messages to each other in different parts of the world. And
so, I probably should cover. I should probably chime in with this story here. When I got my
nib is about to die, to tell you the truth.
Huh?
I think this nib on this pen is about to die.
uh-oh.
I think I might be able to finish the drawing with it, but I won't be able to do the next one unless I've got sandpaper and a cigarette lighter. Yeah, because you've got to burn the tip of the nib, but you've also got to use sandpaper to scrape off some of the oils it came with.
Oh, Lord. So yeah, back in February or March, when I got my tax returns in, I wanted to do another vacation down here, and we were eyeing 4th of July, but my retail job always blocked that off for sales. And so I figured, well, what's a day we can actually meet up and do things? And I figured, well, birthday's coming up, might as well have like a little birthday to myself. Parents were all like, oh yeah, this is the first time we're going to be having your birthday without you. And I figured, no, we can do something to get back. And they were okay with it. And at the same time, I realized there's two really good options here. It's meeting these people. I've met Mike before in person. Really great guy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But in terms of James and, Sam, I was always curious to see what they'd be like in person. And at the same time...
Hope I haven't disappointed.
No. God, no. I'm letting that go. I'm letting that go.
We'll get to that story.
Wait till we get to that. Just joking. Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to drink it.
No.
Good.
I'm not suicidal. I've done that once.
Good.
Twice.
Is that 8% alcoholic? You never read the shots my duty yet.
Does anyone actually know that story about the ink water, or is it...
We'll get to that. Only if you want to...
So where were I? Oh yeah, so I figured, well, this is a good opportunity to get everyone together to just meet up and do something. And the first instinct was the 100 episode of vaulting. I thought, it'd be great to do an episode ahead of time.
Yep.
Wolf, over here.
Yep.
You have a comment?
Oh. Hello.
Yes, Mike is a Whovian. Everyone knows.
Yep. And I figured this would be a great opportunity for us to sort of do something. The big motivation is, why don't you just come down to Florida and have like a big fight scene and brawl and stuff. And then that sort of evolved into what it is. And then at the same time, we were working on this crossover that you've seen the title card for. And I figured, well, if we're going to do this, it's best to take this one step further and actually do it in the same room. And at the same time, this trip has been more about that. Those are a good fraction, but it's more than just that. It's meeting up, seeing what we're like in real life, doing things here, because there's a couple cool stuff. There's a lot of cool things to do down here.
Oh yeah, we went to 2 different arcades.
There was a blacklit miniature golf called Monster Golf. I wanted to do the one we feed live alligators, but it was a compromisation, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was good enough.
Yeah, it's a decent miniature golf course. It's no Scandia, but I haven't even done Scandia in years, so.
Yeah.
I like the horror theme. We lost track of score after a while and just sort of.
We went to Steak and Shake, and that was good.
It turned into a caucus race basically with all this.
That's probably the best way to put it. Because at one point I'm looking at all you guys, and last I'm behind. I'm like, I guess I'm not keeping track anymore. Okay, whatever. And I kept putting in like numbers on my phone to remind myself how to tally it up.
And we all just got. I had the craziest, most amazing moment on the second course, and everyone was a witness, but no one had a camera out or anything. Not that you would be able to see it very well.
You got it in one stroke. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't even try. I was trying to head it out this direction, and when I later looked back and looked at my path, I said, you know what? If I'd hit it that way, it would have gone this way, and it wouldn't have gotten anywhere near. While I angled the ball, it bounces up over the side of one of the edges, rolls over, bounces over another one or so. It was hard to process everything as it was happening, and then it just sort of rolls past the ball, the hole hits the wall, and then lands there. And I'm just like, how did I do that?
There we were breaking our balls trying to get it towards the edge, and then you do it in one fucking go.
And then on the side we did filming for both video projects. My episode, we did like the review portion today. Tomorrow we have just, I think, like 11 pages to film. We can probably get that done in maybe an hour. Just rough estimates. And then we did your bit, and I think the best moment, spoiler alert, was getting rained on by cardboard boxes.
Oh, yes.
Because originally a book was supposed to be thrown at me, but then we felt, well, it has to be something better so my ears don't get, like, knocked off. But we get knocked off anyway.
The night or so before, we had, looking great. Looking great.
It's coming along really good.
Very, very smooth. Want to hold it up for the view? No. And... okay. Looking gorgeous.
From Dan, kind of weird hearing you from the other room and hearing it later on here. It's like analog TV on 2 sets. Oh, and someone brought up the peanut butter solution. I know you saw that one.
I'd been through most of it. It's just a really weird...
the kid eats spiritual peanut butter and hair grows. That's all I know about it. There's ghosts in there.
I got wind of it through a Watch Mojo list of top 10 scariest movies for kids or something like that, and I'm watching it and I'm just like, not really. Yeah. It's just peanut butter?
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
Of all things.
Is your cure for baldness in your horror movie? This is supposed to be frightening. I'm not really, and even the ghosts were not very. No. I'm disappointed that Boogedy no longer gets any love.
Bride of Boogedy, if you want.
Yeah.
But no, as you were saying, we went to an arcade today, and that was a lot of fun.
Yes. We got a crap ton of tickets, all for the group.
The original score was 408 from last year.
Yes.
And that got very easily smoked by one from New Jersey and one from California.
Yes.
But I will say, though, Mike really passed that pretty easily. So.
You sure it's New Jersey and not South Jersey? Or is it the same thing?
Same thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Cameron
if
says...
in the room, we would say it's the same thing, because that's what sound does.
Oh, yeah.
Cameron says, looking great so far.
Yeah.
In reference to the title card, of course. We might be going back one more time by the end of our journey here.
To the arcade again?
I hope so.
we're thinking about it.
Okay.
I know Mike wants them around too.
No, I thought we were gonna do the beach, but
we'll see what happens. We got a day left here, and then we all got to pack and head home.
there's also Congo mini golf, but yeah, probably weather conditions, you know.
And so yeah, we've done a lot of different places down here that I have not seen before. Steak and Shake.
Great place.
Mm-hmm.
Great place for milkshake.
And then a number of different locations that we have seen. Probably one of the biggest events on here that you forgot to mention was the opening of the gift exchange with you and Sam on your birthday.
Ooh.
Your
Yeah, and I
twin
got a
birthday.
slipper in my mouth.
Your twin birthday, where we showered the both of you with gifts.
So many, and I can't remember what came from what. All I remember is that 70% was from you, and they were really good.
And that's where this guy came from.
Yeah.
Funny story.
Oh, I saved the shirt.
Yeah. So you can go back and watch that live stream. I was hoping you'd like Gobo.
I do like Gobo. It's I always say the top three, in my opinion, are Gobo, Boober, and Wembley. I love Boober a lot for his shyness, but Gobo, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, Jerry Nelson, man.
Yeah. I still always found Red to be the most memorable as in terms of a design, just because of the pom-pom hair.
I always remember the story behind the performer. She wanted to play Moki, but during auditions, they kept switching things around and stuff. And so when she got the call back saying that she got Red, she immediately called her parents and said, "They gave me Red, I don't want to be Red."
And then she owned it.
Yeah, just from that.
So... Yeah, so we have been... Yeah, that was one of the things we did. We watched some Fraggle Rock down here.
Yeah. I still remember the story behind Thudge and Grudge, the rat creatures with the trash heap.
Mm-hmm.
Originally supposed to be one. And the reason they got a second was because it was either David Gold or Richard Hunt jumped in for no reason with a second puppet. They had two of them. And they just kept mimicking each other. And so from that they realized that this was just too good to, you know, toss. And that was just from two kids in their childhood that just kept saying that. You know, you annoying trash heap. Yeah.
Oh, so those two characters, so that's kind of like that officially makes them the Beavis and Butthead of the series.
I don't want to say Beavis and Butthead. I'd say more like the Sam and Ben of the series, but more like
I don't know if you can say that. Technically, nobody knows who Sam and Ben are yet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Heckle and Jekyll.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
Well, they kind of sort of are in a sense.
Come to our diner and grab yourself a platter.
There is a good episode where
I've seen all of those.
Yeah, there is a really good episode where they do try and leave the trash heap, and at one point they go into outer space for a moment.
Oh.
It's really funny to see all those guys like, this is kind of just like home, and then they get chased out by Sprocket.
Nice.
Home is where the trash is. I think that's what the episode is.
So yeah, I got him the complete series on DVD because I know you had to sell yours a while back.
Car insurance. What can I say?
And yeah, you spoiled me on my birthday, so why not? But
Hey, when you admit you love Care Bears, you know.
I will.
Care Bears. What's wrong with it? Huh?
Nothing.
Good.
I didn't say anything was wrong with it.
I don't think you saw that live stream.
Yeah.
I don't think you saw that live stream, but yeah, he got me. Yeah, he got me the first movie on DVD along with the complete series and the Nutcracker special that they did.
Which TV series was it? The Nelvana series or the Deke series?
The Nirvana
One.
series.
I didn't know there were two of them.
Yeah, well, the Deke series wasn't actually that good because there was no real emotion in the Care Bears. They all seemed to smile no matter what was going on.
So that's creepy.
Yeah, it was only the Care Bear cousins that seemed to have any kind of emotion.
We're the Care Bears.
We're your friends.
Can you imagine that for a horror movie?
That sort of idea has been tackled before, but anyway.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Deke show I think had its charm. The Nelvana show, which was officially titled The Care Bears Family, but for some reason is on DVD labeled as The Care Bears.
I like the characters Beastly and Shrieky. They always make me laugh. So their voices were highly obnoxious, but I don't know why. There was just charm to those two.
Yeah. They were the scratch and grounder of the series.
Yeah. Like sometimes, like Shriki's expressions just made me laugh so much. The way the animators would often draw her in certain situations, particularly in the one where what's the name of the raccoon?
Brightheart?
Yeah, he goes skiing on his own, and they chase after him.
You have a question, Morgan?
Yeah, I see that right there. That's why I looked over here. Ever want to review American Psycho? Sorry. Question for Morgan. Aside from the Muppet shows and Fraggle Rock, what are your favorite Jim Henson Company shows? Ooh, that's a tough one. There's so many they've done that when I look back at them, I like the technicality and the characters. What are the two that you mentioned? Aside from Muppet shows.
Aside from the Muppet shows and Fraggle Rock.
Ooh, that puts me in a tough corner.
We're really pinning you down.
I do know there's a lot of good ones, and some that are okay but not great, like Mother Goose Stories and Ghosts of Fafner Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really do appreciate what they were trying to do with those shows, because they were trying to see if the creature shop can do Muppet characters. And they kind of stopped that because they felt it wouldn't make sense to these plasticine-looking things. But they were good attempts, and Jim was always an experimentalist.
Mm-hmm.
He was always good at experimenting and doing things, no matter what they were. And hard as it is, the only other Muppet show I can think of the only other Jim Henson Company production I can think of that I like that doesn't involve, Muppet work is really The Storyteller. When you really put it together, that's the only one. Jim Henson Hour doesn't count.
No,
because that has Muppet segments in it.
That was almost.
I almost said that was a good one, but the problem I have with that one is that you have two different halves. You have one that's trying to be a modern Muppet show, which has some nice concepts.
Yeah.
But when you look back at the original Muppet Show, it was like a vaudeville performance.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stage, there were guest stars, all that sort of stuff. It felt like there was interaction, things going on. Here, I felt like Jim was more interested in the technology as opposed to creating something. Well, he wanted to do something uniquely different, that's a thing. But with the Jim Henson Hour, it was more like pushing technology as opposed to putting on a show and seeing what they can do.
It was on Beyond Felt, that was for sure.
It was Beyond Felt.
If you even look at the test, the pitch tapes and everything, they were pushing their digital technology.
I really would love to see what they would have done with that other idea. 1 week would have been Storyteller, second week would have been the Muppet Show, lead-free TV concept. Really look it up. It's a very interesting, very strange thing. Third week would have been 1 hour storybook specials along the lines of Emmenotter's Jug Band Christmas, Tales of the Bunny Picnic, and the
that one with
Christmas toy.
What about that one with the South African lizard, the rainbow?
That was half hour. That's Song of the Clown Forest.
Song of the Clown Forest.
Song of the Clown Forest. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I watched that on its own. It was adorable.
And the fourth week would have been like a wild card thing. He mentioned things like, a bowling ball, a story about a bowling ball, or a musical in a spaceship and stuff like that. But whenever it comes to the one production where they really put a lot of hard effort and hard work, it's the short-lived Storyteller. I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
that's the only one I can think of. I know there's stuff like later on, like the Animal Show and Dog City and stuff like that, but they really put a lot of effort into the Storyteller. There's so much imagination. When you watch those 9 episodes, you're so immersed in this whole other world. It's legitimately the one show I can think of where they just went all out.
Yeah, I'd have to say that as well. I think John Hurt will, rest his soul, will always be that.
I'll always see him as that character.
The sequel for Greek Myths with Michael Gambon is the one I saw, and while it was pretty dark, I was doing Greek Myths at the time, and I found that I tended to really get into that one a lot. Yeah, okay, it was very dark, it was very tough compared to that one, but I don't know, it's just something about it I used to really enjoy. I think it was because I was watching Greek Myths at the time.
Yeah, I have nothing against that. It's because Greek myths are more like history, and history is very raw, it's very brutal.
Greek myths were, anyway.
Yeah, the one episode I do like from that batch is the one about Daedalus and Icarus.
Oh, that's dark. That is dark.
But I love it. I love that episode.
Hey, Daddy, can we fly?
Because well, when you think about it, it's an inventor that wants to escape from reality and just do his things.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that chance. And the problem is, in order to do that, he has to get rid of the one thing that's pinning him down, which is his boss, this evil king.
Minos.
Minos. It's a I agree. It's a dark story, but that's why I like it.
I think it's Minos anyway. I can't remember.
Because you look back at the other three, and it's like they're good, but there's sort of a bittersweet feeling watching that episode.
Mm-hmm.
It gets brutal near the end, but at the same time, it's like you really feel bad for this guy.
Okay, we got the completed product.
Here you go, folks. Oh, and by the way, you got a question, Kimpton. Do you use a specific type of paper to use for ink on?
Yes, it's Bristol board. It's like card. It's got to be very strong, otherwise if you use normal paper with a dip pen, it bleeds the ink, and the final artwork can be extremely messy.
And you have a comment from James Worth that says, Mike, your art is way past better than my artwork.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's very nice to hear that.
You wanna blurb out your DeviantArt channel here?
I have a DeviantArt channel. I'm not very good with promotion.
Okay.
That's fine.
Well, we can probably leave a link in the description box. I want to give a shout out. One thing. Gotta love the detail here.
Don't touch it.
I'm not touching it.
Just make sure because it's still wet.
This is probably a better way. Just look at this detail right here.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in on some of it so people can see it.
Got a little hairs going on there. Morgan's kind of got this helmet going on, you know.
I tried. That's the way I've always
Again.
Flintstone.
I know nothing, Mr. Slate. Nothing.
I'd suggest, in terms of the line work, what I would consider doing, you can erase the pencil stuff once it dries, like usual.
Yeah.
But I would suggest leaving the design on Waka's shirt, even though it's just pencil. Matt might need that for reference.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to keep the line inside because that's where you would, zoom in on the, when you're scanning it. That's where the border for the scanning would be, so that you don't get the outer edge.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've drawn outside of that line and for the legs mostly, but you don't need to. Basically the scanning would be the cutoff point on the scanner, basically.
Yeah. And another thing I wanted to bring up, on the subject of Henson also, I'm not going to bring up anything better than the storyteller. You can't really...
No.
Outside of Muppet-related projects or...
There's seriously nothing else.
I want to say, though...
oh, shoot, I just remembered. Dinosaurs, that's another one. Oh, that's a good one.
I'm not baby, gotta love me.
No. I don't like that bit.
Actually,
Sinclair, you dog.
Oh, there's nothing left on the other line. There we go.
Actually, what I was going to say was...
Live! No! Damn you! Damn you!
There's a more recent show from the Henson Company. I know
myself, that'll do it.
Yeah.
In recent years, they've geared more towards educational.
Farscape. Oh, that's another one that's good.
In recent years, they've leaned more towards educational, edutainment material, like Sid the Science Kid, which it's
Dinosaur Train.
It's all very preschoolish, but one that I did see recently on Netflix was a little something called Word Party, which...
Oh, don't you mean Julia's Room?
Before we get to Julie's green room, thank you for pointing that out.
You're welcome. I don't want any angry commenters going, you forgot this! It's not just that, it's that it's late at night, we're getting a lot of, excitement hangover, so remembering this information is tough for us. It took me a while to remember dinosaurs.
Yeah, Word Party is... It's another CGI preschooler type show. At first glance, But here's what makes here's what one thing that I think Jim would probably be interested in, and that's like you said, they're always about expanding and exploring the technology.
Yeah.
Not that CGI is so common now. You can say automatically that's incredible.
Mm.
What I thought was interesting was watching it on Netflix on the iPad. There are certain segments in the show. If you watch it on television. They have moments where everything sort of stops, and you have to, and they cue the kids in the audience to guess what image is on screen or something like that. Well, on the iPad version, if you watch it on Netflix on your iPad or a touchpad of some sort, those scenes always pause, and their buttons pop up on the iPad. You have to interact with the show to guess what item is on screen.
Interesting.
So I didn't see that coming when I was watching it with my niece, who was at the time about 2-3 years old, and she is a CG Doozer series.
Yeah, I've been hearing on and off things about that one, so I'm not going to go into it. They say they're doing it, they say they're not doing it. If they are doing it, no way.
And so that was one...
Though I am looking forward to the new Dark Crystal series on Netflix.
Me too. And so that's one thing I found innovative about that, and that's about it. Julie's Green Room, that is something quite amazing, because it's who doesn't love Julie Andrews?
No.
I mean, and the fact that she's, what is she, in her 90s now?
I'll save you.
80s or 90s, somewhere in there.
Be thankful I'm here.
She's putting on a personality here where she's essentially playing herself, running a theater with a bunch of puppet children, and this is somebody who she was told she could never perform again because
her voice and all the surgery.
Yeah.
I recall hearing that when she wanted to do a Disney version of Jaimetud for television, but they switched it off to someone else in Drew Carey for that reason.
So for every instance that Julie has done anything, it's kind of a miracle.
Yeah.
And the fact that she sings on the show, also, her voice is not the same as, like, say, The Sound of Music, because but I don't look at that in terms of what she had to go through with the surgery. I just think that, okay, it's more in terms of her age. But for her age, she sounds great.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate with these divas as they keep doing what they love and keep living. So I think we can pretty much call it a live stream for tonight, unless...
Do you have any other...
no, we don't really have any questions.
Right.
Well, I got bored, so I just did a quick caricature of myself.
Yes.
With the paintbrush.
Yep.
For the sunglasses.
How cool is that?
There's no pencil there, anyone. That's freehand. I got bored.
This is how good of an artist this guy is.
I can draw myself quite easily. I can't draw anyone else like that.
What?
Yeah.
Who's your biggest influence? You might as well answer that question for the...
Hergé, from the author of the Belgian comic book series The Adventures of Tintin. Every time.
Need we say more?
Absolutely. Except that the only difference between his art style and mine is that I'm starting to embrace more of a cartoony look, and that my character's eyes are much bigger and expressive. I tend to take slight inspiration from Thunderbirds, where the hands and heads and eyes of the characters are disproportionately large to the rest of the body, because it makes them more expressive. But that's about it, really.
One last question here. Yes, Amelia, Dark Crystal is coming to Netflix as a TV series. That's going to be great.
And also, Ryan Walton, thoughts on the upcoming Happy Time Murderers. Oh, that's one I've been watching as well. And that one I'm excited for.
I haven't heard of that.
What it is, it's, I think, Zootopia, but instead of animals, it's people and puppets coexisting. So it's kind of like Shakes the Clown, but a little more noir. And what happens is there's these murders going on with this kid show, and this human director is teamed up with a puppet.
That's a dark concept.
Yeah, and Brian Henson is directing it.
So it's more actually puppets and humans.
That's Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
But what I like is how it, in a way, it feels like a self-parody of the Muppets in a sense. And I know they attempted that with the TV show last year, and that one didn't work because they had their actual characters. And in a sense, it worked on 2 levels, and it worked on a level where it's kind of didn't, because it's like, yeah, you're going into these Muppet characters and going into... Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I gotta stop talking about this. I'm looking for the Happy Time Murders, but look at this.
Yes.
Yeah, Melissa McCarthy's gonna start it, but come on, look at this.
Yes, I drew myself.
Authentic. Authentic. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's your answer. I'm looking for the Happy Time Murderers, and I think this is awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I believe that's it for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for joining us. One last look. Get it all in. Yes, we're doing Willy Wonka and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Are you surprised?
Not at all. James is all nice. Okay. Oh, that was in response to the...
I feel like a 2-headed brother here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the happy face and the small face. And the sad face.
Mm-hmm. Alright then. So next...
God, I look fucking terrifying bad.
So now...
I can't even look at it. Now it's terrifying.
It kind of reminds me of Jim Carrey playing death in...
Yeah.
In... I'm not dead, you are dead. I'm not dead.
He pulls off his ear at one point.
Jim Carrey played death in a little movie called High Strung.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's a childhood classic, but nobody knows about it.
I won't hold you against it. It has some good stuff in there.
Alright, folks. Thank you for joining us. And ciao for now, I guess.
Nighty-night.